Hey, so today I would like to tell a story that I've been thinking about a lot, especially over this whole process of, you know, coming off Suboxone and the ugliness that came with that, along with, the massive, the transformation of my mouth. But yeah, it started right before October. So I was working at this job, and I was just starting to see and really see the results of a gift, I would say that I have. It's influencing people, and I know that's corny, but yeah, no, I can. I'm not necessarily good at any particular thing, but I am good at influencing people to do better, at least in the workplace. Um, that's not always met with kindness, but generally I can see the effects of it. And so what happened there was I was influencing this. I was trying to lead this team, right, to open up this restaurant. And I didn't realize, I do now, but I didn't realize that the manner in which I was using in order to like create influence was negatively affecting my the way people looked at me who were above me, right? Because in order to really like get on, influence team, you have to get them on you have to be on their level. You know what I mean? So you have to come at them with their language, you have to come at them with their ideas, their outlook, their perspective. And so if all these people are trying to influence think those people are dumb, that has to be recognized in order to gain respect, right? In order so they know you're not stupid, because all of them don't think they're dumb. They think that all these people are stupid, and so you have to come at them that way, right? And so I did, and I didn't really realize that that's what I was doing, right? I didn't realize that's what I was doing until recently, right? Uh, just really like trying to hash over like what happened. And so anyway, I ended up like getting another job. I was trying to be like very ambitious at the time, trying to prove something to myself. But yeah, I ended up getting a different job, and it was the same thing. It was the same exact thing, but this time it was like more dangerous, because of the situation that I was in. Um, I think there's a lot of men out there can understand the situation. I'm not going to explain it, but anyway, um, after I left the other job, I started getting super depressed, right? Or I didn't know what was going on. I just knew that like right after I started this new job as a GM, I started sleeping for like 14 hours a day. And this coincided with like me getting like two teeth infections, right? So I quit that job, got this job. I had a tooth infection before I quit and during the period of time I quit and got this other job. And so I got on antibiotics right after I got the other job, the GM job. And I was sleeping for like 14 hours a day. And I did not understand why. It's not like me. I had been on Suboxone since June. Hurt myself like 2 years ago, and then I started taking kratom for it, which is, that's a lovely way to go about it. The gas station gambit, but yes. So I got on Suboxone that June of 2022, and yeah, it just I was so ashamed of myself for being on Suboxone the whole time, right? Because I am a very proud person. I just am, And so the whole time I'm doing all this stuff, right, and thinking that I'm, you know, bettering myself, which in a sense I was. I was showing myself what I'm capable of, um, business wise, at work or whatever. And it's, because visually seeing like results, at least from my perspective, it was like, oh yeah, no, I'm good at this. I never done this before. I can learn real quick and I can perform very well. But anyway, so I started sleeping a bunch, right? Started sleeping a bunch, and I'm like ashamed, right? I had already asked that doctor, the Suboxone doctor, like, hey, can we start taking me off? And their response is always just like, well, we just give you this more. The reason why you don't like it is because you're not taking enough. And I'm like, oh my god, right? All right, let's do it. And it did work. It did work. I still was getting like, you know, if you ever had somebody that you work with or interact with who is on something like that, they sweat real easily, like when they move, at least me. Like I'm a sweater. I've worked out for a long time. I know I'm a sweater, but when I'm on that stuff, I'm a sweater, right? I could go clean a chair and just be sweating my balls off. Excuse my language, I'm sorry. But yeah, so I got that going on, and I'm just like, this is not right. Like, what am I doing? You know what I mean? And I don't care about any of this, dude. Like, I love coffee, like love, love it, the process and everything. But this doesn't fucking this it doesn't mean anything, you know what I mean? Sorry, I swear. Um, yeah, and so I was like, I'm sleeping. So this is like beginning of October, like first week. And then I'm like sitting there, mind you, I'm smoking a lot of weed too. Cause why not? And yeah, and then I started getting the feeling that when I would be like alone, that I wasn't, right? And it was a weird feeling. I didn't really, it was whatever. But yeah, I started getting this feeling like, wow, I think there's something here with me. You know what I mean? I love energies, I love all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? But it was just really weird. And so I just chalked it up to the fact that, like, I'm sleeping a lot, I'm depressed, my body, trying to help itself. Maybe like what is it? A corporeal manifestation of the divine feminine and the divine masculine, right? Or something like that. But anyway, after a little bit, I started, being bored and all that. Like I was just like, and being depressed. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna start mentally, kind of playing with some attachment to this energetic feeling. What did you call it? A feeling. And then I had this really weird day to where I was like, I didn't know what to do. I was not happy. And I knew that it was my grandmother, my late grandmother, who was there with me. I'm a lot like my grandmother, right? Capable of like being the nicest person, like overly nice, way too nice. But then at the same time being like extremely vengeful. You know what I mean? It's like I'm a person who is capable of extremes very impulsively, right? I'm just like that. I gotta learn to control that. But yeah. And then I don't know what, but I was just like, all right, I'm just gonna listen, right? Just listen to whatever my brain is telling me that I need to do. Because I don't know what I need to do. I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't know why I'm sleeping so much, taking this stuff just like they're telling me, all that, all that. And so I did. And it took me on this really long walk. Good walk, great walk. But I went inside this place in Ipsy and it was like raw materials. They were like going out of business. I don't know if they are out of business, but at the time, like they had a going out of business thing. And I saw these beautiful stained glass things in the window. And I was like, oh my God, I gotta go in there. I'm supposed to go in there. Because so it's like, uh, I was always, I was on this like opioid replacement drug and all that kind of stuff. And that makes me timid. You know what I mean? It makes me timid. It makes me not want to do stuff. It makes me not want to go out and express myself because it's like the deepest parts of me know that it's not really a authentic expression. Even if it is, I'm not telling people to get off. This is just how I felt about it. I'm an arrogant son of a bitch. Like that's just how I view things. Like if it's not me fully, then I know it's not me. Maybe it's a bad way to look at it. But anyway, so I go in this place, and all of a sudden I was like, whoa, like I'm super spiritual. And I'm like laughing at myself too, because I'm like, I'm being so goofy right now. Like this is so goofy, like how I feel, what the types of thoughts I'm entertaining. It's so goofy, you know what I mean? And so I go upstairs, and this place is like leaving me in awe. It's so much beautiful stuff in there, like so much beautiful stuff. I hope they're still open. That is a gem. That is a gem for people who want to buy stuff for their homes and buy gifts for other people. Um, yeah, so I go upstairs. I'm like looking around, and I saw the really nice one in the window that I saw from outside. But then the really, really, really nice one was behind a locked door, so I couldn't get there. So I was like frustrated. I was like, "What am I supposed to do?" So I was like, "All right, whatever." I'm like, just walk around, go to the basement. And so I go into the basement, and as soon as I go into the basement of this place, I am like lit up with like this place is different. You know what I mean? It's different. And I won't go into like semantical detail about how I felt it was different, but I was like, this place different, that's weird. And I uh I read I read teacup, right? Or coffee cups. It's weird, but it's fun. And I had just come from this coffee shop, my favorite one, Hyperion, and I had saw four horses inside of my cup, right? So I'm like, oh wow, you know, four horses. That's weird. I didn't make nothing of it. It's just some horses, right? And I was like, it's nice, nice little design with by the soap and not the soap, the coffee, um, you know, the stuff the coffee residual inside of the cup when you're done drinking it. And so I'm down in this thing, and I'm like, oh my god. Plus, it's like a maze. There's like all old doors everywhere. They got tons of old doors. And then I'm going around, and I come into this back room. And before I get into this back room, I'm like, you know, this back room. There's something about this back room, you know. And then I go in the room, and I turn around, and there's a huge mural of this beautiful woman in a white dress standing next to this like majestic white horse, right? And of course, it could just be a sort of coincidence. But I was like, what? Right. So I stayed in that room, and the feeling in the room was like, I don't know, this powerful feeling in the room. I don't know. And anyway, something told me that I needed to go back around through the maze, right? Because I'm like, I want to buy something. You know what I mean? This place, it's amazing. I need to buy something. I just don't know what, right? Because I didn't want to spend a lot of money. Um, I don't think I had a lot this time. Um, and anyway, so I go sneaky sneak around this whole place. And then I go in the back area where their workers are supposed to be at, but no one was there. And then I see this thing. I see this. Here, I see this. This, I love this thing. So it was priced $10.99. It was $10.99. And I'm like, what? It's broken in one spot, but it's beautiful. And anyway, mind you, the whole time I'm like, I know my grandma's here with me. She's leaving me. Something, right? I don't know. I was just playing with it. It's just the way I felt about what was going on. You know, it's like, yeah, it's my grandma. She's here with me. But you know, I didn't really attribute much faith or truth to those feelings. I was just entertaining them because I just needed some entertainment, right? And yeah, so I go upstairs, and the guy, he's like, "Where did you find that?" And I was like, "Oh, it was down in the back around the corner behind a couple things, right?" He's like, "That is an authentic Tiffany glass. I don't know who priced it for $10.99." And I'm like, "Well, can I have it? I love it." Like, and I told the guy how much I loved it and how much it meant to me. And he's like, "All right, cool." And then I'm like, "All right, I don't have any money on me. I have to go home and I have to get money, and I'll come back and I'll bring my car and I'll pick it up." And he's like, "Cool." So I did, yada yada. And then I get home, and I'm looking at it, and it's got holly around the outsides, right? The red is embossed with holly, like big little pictures of holly. And yeah, I'm like, oh my God, my grandma was born on Christmas. You know what I mean? It's all red, you know, her favorite color, my favorite color. And you know, it's all like embossed with this holly, and it's got this beautiful glass in the middle. It's just absolutely fantastic. Anyway, that was a changing point for me. I was like, what in the world? Like, there's something to this, right? There's something to this. There's something going on. And so I kind of just like ignored that kind of stuff for a while. Um, just because it was like weird, you know what I mean? It was weird. And then I you know, the teeth problems kept happening, and I kept having to take antibiotics. I took 4 rounds within like a month and a half. It was like 4 rounds from October to early December. So it was like two months and some change. Like I was constantly on. And well, the last one, so it's three during that time period, and then the last one was like December 10th it started, or December 9th. And anyway, like the way things were going at the job were like nothing made sense to me. Like the way people were acting, like the emotional response I was getting, the way people were talking to me. It was like no one is telling me the truth about anything. Like I don't understand why. You know, now I do. You know what I mean? I come in and I'm loud and obnoxious, and I'm like, yeah, what is going on here? And then things improve, paper, but that pisses people off. You know what I mean? Because you're I was directly like insulting a few to motivate a bunch, right? I didn't realize the extent of which the insults were being taken because I wasn't saying them mean, I was saying them compassionately, but people aren't dumb, they can read through the lines, right? Sarcasm is not always the correct tool in which to communicate. It's passive aggressiveness. So yeah, so anyway, I just like knew like things are messed up. I am not all right. I don't know what's going on. I need to just move forward before something bad happens. Right. And then so yeah, after that it was like, oh wow, like like the feeling of believing in yourself comes back and the feeling of like really not caring what other people think. Like, and that's wonderful. And so that came back and I was like, oh wow, I can do something with this. You know what I mean? I don't have to be a wage, I don't have to work for somebody else to get rich. Like maybe if I could just figure something out, I can. You know what I mean? I can do it for myself. I'm the product, right? I remember when I was young for all the fucking freaking programming, you know what I mean? What they call programming these days, synaptic pathways that we build over time that create stories for ourselves and our own limitations, those things. So yeah, that was doing it. But I was just sitting at home and I was just taking sparks and I was thinking out, working, trying to figure something out. And I was just smoking weed, right? And I was like, yeah, I know this isn't right. You know, like this isn't right. I'm starting this thing off, but there's a birdie in my ear telling me that like the self that I am trying to cultivate into something, like a business or whatever, is not an authentic self. And I need to do something about that. And I just felt that way. And then yeah, I had like four teeth all go at one time. And go, I mean start throbbing. You know what I mean? They went, the dentine or whatever's around that nerve, just boom, like four of them all at the same time. Good thing I was on Suboxone for that because I can't take anything else, right? So I didn't. I maintained that. I was on 24 milligrams Suboxone, so I was on the highest dose. And then I'd been trying to get into the Medicaid dentist for a while, right? Because I was job hopping, so I didn't stay anywhere long enough to like maintain insurance or whatever. And so, which thank you for that. Big advocate for that. And so, but I couldn't get in there because my the insurance from the state from like years ago when I worked at the Salvation Army, they still had the insurance on there from like 2017, and so it was preventing me from using the current one that I had because they were telling me that I already had it, and it was weird. So that took like a month to figure it for them to figure out. Me making 3 phone calls over the course of a month, and then finally they got it figured out. And so I was at the gym and I was like, I got to start running. I need to start like doing what I know to do to take care of myself, doing the dishes and going on runs. We're working out. And so I, yeah, I was at the gym and I started going on a run. And then all of a sudden it just, no, wait, which one was that? This one down here, this one over here. I think it's second molar in. It was just bad, right? My heart pumping made me just like, holy crap, this hurts so bad. And so I had like $480, right? And so I go to the dentist and I'm like, dude, it's got to come out. I just need to have faith that it's going to be okay. I got to pay for this out of pocket because I can't get into this place. And then, so I go there and it's two of them. It's not just one of them. I only just felt it in one of them, right? But it was two of them. So they take the two out and it was $550. Right. So I didn't have the whole amount of money. And so they let me. So I gave them every penny I had to get these teeth out. Right. Every fucking penny I had. And I was like, all right, I don't know, dude, but I don't know. And then I get home. And then later that day, I get a letter in the mail from the Medicaid people telling me that thing's been taken off my insurance and then I can go render services now. And I was like, are you kidding me? The curse of impulsivity. I'm damned. I just getting things done, right? It's good sometimes, good other times. But anyway, so yeah, so then the next day, the other two starts throbbing, dude. Like the other ones, they start throbbing. And I didn't know this at the time. I'll say this now that Suboxone rots your teeth. So if you already have like bad teeth, if you already have like it's a recovery channel. So if you already have drug teeth and then you go on that, like it expedited the rot of my teeth exponentially, like over the course of like what June, July, August, September. So 4 months, it like, whoa, you know what I mean? It was just bad. And yeah, so I go in there and I am like, I know exactly what I need to do. I need to get all my teeth pulled out, right? And I was like gung ho. I was like, well, yeah, dude, let's get these new teeth, bro. Let's do it. I don't care. Like, let's just take them, bro. And yeah, I wasn't thinking about it. And I'm glad I wasn't thinking about it at the time because that I think was a good impulsive decision because the sooner you get it done, the sooner it's over with. Um, but then, I come home and I I smoke cigarettes. I wish I could quit. I mean, okay, one day I will, but right now I smoke cigarettes. And mind you, right, I go into the doctor and I always tell them I'm an addict, right? I don't take painkillers, I'm on Suboxone, yada yada yada. And so, they're all aware, right? And so yeah, I go in, get them out, come home, and then I was good till the next day, and then the next day I got a dry sucker, right? Well, something else I've read was that when you're on these like opiate drugs long term, they lower your natural pain threshold, right? And so me in my mind, I'm still thinking like, bro, I'm a boss. I could take care of, I could do it. I didn't realize that these other things were like influencing my natural systems to allow me to experience more pain with less negative, like emotional effect or right, less effect on my ability to function. And so I got all this Suboxone, and I'm like, I am not going to get drugs. I'm not going to get drugs. And so I ate, I think like 2 weeks worth in like 2 days, just like out of habit, right? They say there's placebo effects, but it's like, bro, if you take some and then you wait a little while, the tip of it comes off. Like, you know what I mean? I was on it for long enough, taking it consistently for long enough to know that that's how it works. Like, you know what I mean? There's a rise and fall every time you take something, even if it's the same thing that you need. Their natural levels are going to get low, and the feeling of you going back up to where you need to be is going to be great, right? And so I was like, all right, I know this, So I was like utilizing that, and I ate a shit ton, right? But I did not get drugs, no kratom, no pills or whatever. And yeah, and so I'm like, all right, I don't know like what I'm gonna do. You know what I mean? Because I know already that they can't give any more out. So I just waited till Monday. I didn't sleep for what Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night, and then Monday I like told the doctor, right? And it's one of these online Suboxone doctors. Since the pandemic, you're allowed to just go see a doctor online, and they can prescribe you Suboxone from your computer, and you don't ever have to go anywhere, right? Well, it's good or bad. I'm not going to make a judgment call. For me, it was bad. So I like text them right in their little system, and I tell them what happened, and I felt like a POS for doing it right, and I think I projected that onto them, and then the fact that they talk to me like a cookie cutter, because it's not personal. It's not personal. I don't know these people, right? But I'm all sad. I want it to be personal. And yeah, so I just told them what I really felt, right? It's a big long thing. Um, I didn't think it was as mean. Like if somebody were to say it to me and I was in their position, I'd be like, oh my God, he's going through a hard time. I wouldn't take it personally. Not everybody's like that. You know what I mean? They all took it very personally. And then basically we're like, all right, cool, we're gonna kick you out of the program. And I was like, and then that's why I started really thinking. I was like, all right, if I can't get any more for 2.5 weeks, that is my 33rd birthday and Christmas, and I can get it on the 28th, I'm not doing that. I'm not going to go all this time for nothing, right? I'm not doing that. Like, no, like I'm going to celebrate my birthday like that and freaking Christmas, like going through Suboxone withdrawal. I didn't even start detoxing from it, like physically, for 7 days, dude. Like I was depressed from 2 days after I stopped taking it until 7 days later. And then when 7 days later came, I thought I was going to be like good and out of the woods, but no, that's when it started. That's when it started. But it was bad. It was like, oh my God, where's my life going? I don't have teeth. I am screwed. And so made a lot of poor choices. I had a lot of help from my family. And yeah, you know, since then I guess I don't know. I believe in that energy that drove that led me to go get this. And I believe that that same force watching over me, right, led me to get this done and led me to get off Sparks because I knew that's what I really, really, really wanted more than anything, right? I don't need a $50,000 year. I don't need an $80,000 year job. I need new teeth and I need to be clean, right? That's what I need. That's what my soul is fucking freaking telling me that I need the whole time. You know? And yeah, so that's where I'm at. Today's first day. I'm not sick. It's good, right? I love this fun hobby of doing these storytelling tarot card readings. They're just so fun, you know. And my attitude switched around when I stopped hating like the people who are most important to me or who have been most important to me, you know. Because it's like when we're going through hard times, it's like there's always people on our mind, right? The most important people the whole time, you know, or at least the people who were the most influential. Some of them are still the most important people, some of them are not, you know. And it's like I just found myself like hating those people, you know, for no real good reason outside of like not wanting to identify my part in everything and forgive, you know, for their part, right? Because, you know, people don't have a part in our lives if we don't give it to them. So it's like if we give people a part and then they act in their own nature that we perceive poorly, just as guilty, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like we're just as guilty, you know. And so I, you know, I just I decided I was going to allow myself to love these people. I don't talk to them, right? I don't talk to these people. I pushed a couple of them away, but I'm going to allow myself to love these people from afar in a fantasy, right? I'm going to do it. Um, I'm going to do it. I'm going to tell myself these stories, right? I'm going to go back and I'm going to look at all these memories and I'm going to rewrite these stories in a different way, you know, where I take my part into account and I say that this is what I did, you know, and this is how I have really been acting. And it was funny because through that, I was able to really see, you know, a lot of things like a lack of consistency and all that, you know, lack of, you know, fear of commitment, 100%. Um, you know, and that it really, really helped. It really, really helped. I don't know what I'm going to do now. I really don't. I can't see myself like going back to work and trying to like do what I, you know, grow in the same way I have been, you know. That's just trying to prove myself that I am worthy of someone, right? I have an ability to take care of someone, right? I don't know. That's just me. But I just can't see myself doing that. I don't know what, you know, but it just sucks, dude. It sucks when you know you're just making somebody else rich, you know. It's like so vengeful. Like, oh my God, where's mine? You know, at least tell me I'm awesome or something. My love language is praise. Anyway, yeah, that's just where I'll end it right there. And I mean, at this point, I do feel different, and like I don't know, it's like believing in who I am and the things I'm good at, which is I don't know, talking about emotions. I'm really good at that. I love it. I love talking about emotions all the time. I always wanted to be a counselor my whole life. I'm not, because I'm not going to go back to college. That's dumb. Um, I mean, maybe it's not dumb, but the way the education system is these days. But So there's got to be a different route. I'm sure I'll figure it out. I have patience. 'Cause I know I'm not missing out on anything. It's like your grandparents, right? So I think this is a lesson old people learn. That you're not missing out on anything. Everything that you have is like right here or within like arm's reach, so to speak. I don't just have to go out and just, do stuff for the sake of doing it because it's like I'm not missing out on anything, you know? And I've never really understood that before until now because my grandpa James, I went out and stayed with my grandma before he died. And I was like, how does he do this every day? He just gets up, watches Westerns. He's totally cool. He doesn't drink, doesn't smoke. He's completely sober. How does he do this? And now I think I get it. Not missing out on anything. You know, and if I'm out there, and if you're out there just trying to chase stuff that you think you might want, then a lot of times we're wasting our time. You know what I mean? And we have to listen to the universe when it tells us that, right? By putting all of these roadblocks in the way. You know, it's just interesting. But anyway, just wanted to share that. I hope you have a fantastic day. And I hope, hope you all. Oh my God, I'm terrible at it.